I've noticed with difficulties that high school students have transitioning into college is, number one, it's a different environment. No one is after you about homework every night. No one is asking you, are you going to come to class? Where were you? You're on your own. You're an adult now. And that transition from the high school environment to college, I see sometimes it takes a semester, sometimes even two, for people to realize this is totally different from high school. It's you're an adult now, you're on your, I don't want to say you're on your own, but you're responsible for yourself. Another thing is too that people tend to say, oh, college is coming 4 years from now, you know, college is far away. Next thing you know, college is around the corner. And you take a placement exam and you're not placing into calculus, or you're not placing as high as you wanted to. And what I've seen is students who accept it and they say, okay, I may not have the background I need, and they move on, they take the classes, they get what they need to get done, do better than those who fight it and don't accept it. And they're the ones who end up frustrated, and it may take them longer to finish what they need to get done. So another difficulty I see that Latino students have between transitioning from high school to college is that they have a hard time balancing life outside of school and their school responsibilities. So I've seen, especially with Latino families, and that mom and dad, whoa, you're not in school from 8 to 3 anymore. Go get a part-time job. And then you don't have enough time to study and do what you need to do at school because now you're working more hours than are possible. So what I would recommend for Latinos families in general, if you have a student who's going to college, is recognize that college is a full-time job in and of itself. You want your student to succeed. You want, you know, a lot of it is you're the first one in your family to go to college. I know that was true for me. And a lot of families put the pressure, Latino families put the pressure that we want you to contribute to the household, we want you to do this, we want you to do that, not realizing that college takes a lot out of you. And what I mean by that is it's not only physically tiring, but mentally tiring as well. So what I would recommend for students is to schedule what I call like fun time. Schedule time to hang out with your friends. Maybe even you just need alone time just to kind of decompress. Forget about school for a minute. Forget about, you know, your responsibilities, and just de-stress and relax. Because I've seen a lot of students that they'll pack a full schedule, they'll work 40 hours, they have responsibility at home, and they're the ones at the end of the semester who are physically drained, they're emotionally drained, and when a crisis comes, they can't cope with it because they're just too tired. So what I would really recommend is again, balancing school, home, social life, and try to find that balance that works for you. For Latino students, I would recommend finding the support at home, explaining to mom and dad what college is really like, especially if mom and dad didn't go to college. Let them in on your world. Explain what your typical college week is like, so that mom and dad can realize how much work college really is, or mom and dad can see, wow, college takes a lot out of you. Because they just think you go to school, you come home, and then you're done. Not realizing that you have a 20-page paper due in maybe a couple of weeks, and what a 20-page paper entails. What I would recommend for Latino families, and especially, is it's okay to bring mom or dad with you to college. Have them visit, have them spend the day with you, so that they can go to class with you and they can see that, you know, what a lecture is like, what's expected of you. Maybe if you don't want to bring them to school, show them your syllabus and explain to them, this is what expected of me, this is the work I need to do, because there could be a disconnect between what really happens at school and the idea that what mom and dad think school is. Because you've gone from, you go to school from 8 to 3 and then you're done, to now college professors are expecting you to work at least 2 hours outside of school for every credit hour you're taking. 2 tips for Latinos to be successful in college. Number 1, I would say a support system in and out of school. I would say you need support at home, and you need to form connections with the faculty and staff on campus. Find the professor who you like or who you form a connection with, and let them know. Have them become your mentor. Find a mentor. Number 2, I would say the balance between all your responsibilities in school. Being able to schedule a social life, being able to have enough time for school, for studies, and have enough time for work if you need to work to support, or if you need the pocket money or you need the work in general. So to make a connection with your college professors, what's worked for me is I formed connections with the faculty who taught the subjects I liked. So for me it was math teachers. I really loved one math professor, so I started coming to see him during office hours to get help from homework. And you come to realize your professors are people too. They like certain movies, and you can just start a conversation that way. I've known other people who they literally walk into the professor's office and say, hey, I found out you teach computer science. I want to know more. And you form a connection that way. An appropriate way to establish a connection with your professor is, say you see him walking down the hallway, say hello. And maybe I don't know, that's a toughie. Yeah, if you see your professor walking down the hallway, don't be afraid to say hello. If you see them maybe having a cup of coffee, don't be afraid to ask if you can join them, and try to start a connection as if they were any other person. We're human, we're people too, we like movies, we have interests outside of school. That's one way of forming a connection with us. Yeah. So let's say you tried approaching your professor and they seem hurried, they're packing up, they're really not listening to you. It could be that day either they have something going on at home. Sometimes professors teach at multiple schools. So if you really want to form the connection, number one, don't take it personally. But what I would do is ask your professor, I really would like to sit down and chat with you. What would be a good time? And schedule a time, but just make sure that when you do schedule that time, you show up.